Right, Brett's talked about, kind of the rematches from last year. And this is another one, and probably one that you guys would want back 'cause it's an outlier the past half of the season. So what do you think you guys need to do to be more successful this time around, or why you're going to be more successful?
Yeah, we can't do what we did last year, that's for sure. It's as you start to prepare for rematch games, you look at last year's film. That's not a fun one to watch. We've definitely improved at a lot of aspects to correct some of the issues we had a year ago. And yeah, this is a game that we're excited for. Obviously Wisconsin is a great opponent, big physical up front. Got a running back that runs hard. I think he's like 6'2", 240 pounds. He's a big kid, and they're well coached. They like to run the football, and it's going to be your prototypical Big Ten game, where it's either won or lost in the trenches.
How does CJ's versatility help you? All of the other 10 guys on the field, and especially get you off the field on third down. Seems like you're able to use him in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Just with how we're structured schematically, his ability to, rush off the edge and be a second level linebacker. He's got a great instinct and nose for football, and plays with some swagger, and his energy is definitely infectious when he's on his game and playing well.
This third down success, I know we talked about it a lot. Was that something that was already kind of ingrained in the building when you got here? Was that something you guys have gone out of your way to emphasize? Kind of what you want that to be culturally? Yeah,
I have no idea what was done in the building previously before I got here. It's definitely something that we always emphasize as a defense. It's just a down where it's you got a chance to get off the field and give the ball back to your offense. So we definitely work on third downs a lot. It's definitely a point of emphasis both from a staff and a player's perspective. And I think anytime you emphasize those things, you should have some success in that regard, and our guys have been doing a great job of executing the game plan, executing the scheme, and then just making plays, when opportunities arise.
How does what you're able to do on first and second down in some of those third and longer situations?
Yeah, it definitely helps. Obviously Chattanooga got us a couple of third and longs running the football, but you win on first and second down. Third and 8 is a lot more manageable defensively than the 3rd and 2. So. You definitely spend time on first down, and then, as Coach B says, second down is the most forgotten down in football, and that's definitely been an area of emphasis that I've learned from him, just studying what teams are doing on second down to get you in a third and more advantageous distance defensively.
When you see you have a top 5 defense, what do you think of?
What's that?
When you see that you have a top 5 defense in the country, what do you think?
I didn't know that. No, seriously, this is news to me. It's early in the year. Our guys are playing well right now. I do think that we'll continue to get better as the year goes. But as far as rankings and where you stack up stat-wise, we're just trying to hold our opponents to one less point than what our offense is scoring to try to win a game. That's the focus, and in order to do so, you are focused every snap on trying to get the ball back to your offense so that they'll score. So, as far as the rankings and the stats, they are what they are, and they'll be what they'll be. We're just trying to win ball games.
Yeah, outside linebackers had arguably their best game. Was that more the matchup, or is that group taking a big leap forward?
I think it's a combination of both. I did feel like we matched up favorably on the edge a week ago, but at the same time, you got guys that are improving every week, and they should, right? Like we're getting to like the midway point of the year. Guys like Seth have now had a catalog of reps, and you got guys like Gabe, who are freshmen and starting to gain experience. Like they should be getting better, and we're trying to learn them too. Learn what we can and can't do with them. What are their strengths and weaknesses, what they can handle from an install standpoint. So, but I do think it was a combination of both. Thursday night.
What type of ribbing has Keith Randolph gotten maybe on ball security?
Oh, a lot. He's gotten everything from give the ball to somebody else that can go score. He should have got down, all kind of stuff. So I think he got flashbacks to a year ago where we also got the pick, and You know, I think Seth would also argue it was a sack fumble and not an interception. But you know, it's a good learning experience for all of us. Defensively, you know, you got a chance to get possession of the football. You got to maintain it. And Coach B is always detailed about, you know, ball security and how to hold the football. And so it's just it shows that all those things matter. And you know, that could have been, like Coach says, it's not what happened, it's what could happen. That could have been a critical point in the game, and definitely a learning experience for all of us.
Maybe more seriously, like Keith and Johnny have been kind of paired together, you know, over the last year plus, but just what do they maybe do for each other on the field where they can maybe both have the type of success they've had?
Well, I think, you know, for one, they're both playing at a really high level, you know, and they push each other, you know, every day in practice. And so because they play similar positions, you know, it's hard for the offense to slide to one guy or the other, because now you're somebody's going to be single blocked, you know. So I think that is advantageous for both of them, and their versatility on the inside is advantageous for our defense.
You mentioned the Wisconsin running back. How much of a challenge does he present?
Yeah, like he's a big physical runner. You know, the first guy hardly ever brings him down. So we got to do a good job of you know, gang tackling and swarming to the football and playing the type of defense we've been playing, and just continue to get better every day.
See, one of those guys that gets better clearly as he goes along. I mean, you see him. Is he better in the second, third, fourth quarter than he is earlier? Is not better.
I think he's good all the time, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's a physically an impressive kid, and they feature him a lot. You know, so I think anytime he's got the ball in his hands, that's what they want. So we got to do a good job, like I said, of knowing where he's at and identifying how they're trying to give him the ball and what type of run game we're getting on Saturday.
With this, I mean, how is he able to kind of mature and grow into this role that he's in now?
I think, you know, naturally he's older. You know, he's got more experience. But at the same time, you know, when you are thrust into the starting role and you've got younger guys in your room, like you're in a leadership position, and he's embraced that. And Coach Kane has done a good job of giving him that platform in their room, and guys are responding to him.
With as much man as you guys have run, does that take a mindset that you have to build? Like, how do you do that? And then is that an identity you're trying to build?
You know, I think a lot of it is, I think there's like a misconception sometimes, you know, and I've heard it from all levels of football, like, you know, teams that don't play man say, well, we just don't have the guys that can play man. I think you're not teaching the proper technique then. You know, if you're a Division I athlete and you're playing in the secondary, in my opinion, if you've got the right teaching, the right tools, and the right wherewithal, and you still have to have the right mindset, then you can play man coverage. You know, it's been advantageous for us because our guys have embraced it. You know, it makes the quarterback have to throw in tight windows and make accurate passes. It makes receivers have to make contested catches, and it makes the throwing and the catching a little bit harder, in my opinion. And our guys have, like I said, have embraced that. They like that challenge, and it's been good for us.
Pretty big offensive staff overhaul for Wisconsin from last year to this year. Without trying to give as many things away, are you seeing things that are fundamentally different that they're doing on that side of the ball since, like, maybe last year when they came here?
Yeah, there are things schematically that are a little bit different, but I think philosophy is still the same. They want to get big. They want to use their tight ends. They want to run the football. You know, out of what formation and what kind of schemes they do that out of is a little bit different than a year ago from an identity standpoint. But I definitely think philosophically they're still Wisco.
The defense has allowed opponents to a touchdown or without a touchdown 3 out of the 4 games. How does that kind of show what you're implementing is working?
You know, how does it show what we're implementing is working? Well, they're not getting on the scoreboard, you know what I mean? And that's the ultimate goal defensively. But I think the reason why we're having success on defense is just because our guys are preparing and practicing the right way. It is fun to be at practice. It is fun to be in meeting rooms. You know, they want to be good at football. They enjoy playing the game for all the right reasons. It's not for Twitter followers or Instagram likes. Like, they like to play because they like to play. And anytime you combine that with talent, with talent, I think you have an opportunity for success if you don't screw them up as a coach, right? So as a staff, we're just trying to put them in position to be able to make plays and be fundamentally sound from a schematic standpoint. And hopefully the trend continues and we continue to get better.
Coach, I know you're focused on you, but from a peers standpoint, what do you think makes Jim Leonard such a successful defensive coordinator?
I think from the film that I've seen, like from crossover games, he definitely has a rhyme and reason for when he's bringing pressure, when he's not. How his front is aligned. And his guys they play fast and they execute. And he's got talented guys on that side of the ball, and they definitely play with an attitude and an edge.
This rematch thing Brett's brought up a few times. How do you personally approach that, like in game week, competitive wise? I'm sure like there's that element. Like, what's that?
Yeah,
like?
I mean, I don't know if I could tell you what kind of goes in my mind. Like, I'm competitive as it gets. You know what I mean? So, walking off that field last year wasn't fun, and so some of the things we've done is in preparation for this game. And as a competitor, you just can't wait to go play again, and I'm hoping our guys will be ready to go, and I think they will be ready to go Saturday.
If I could get one more about the second down, like the most forgotten down thing, what stood out the most when Brett kind of put that idea out there? Like, what do you remember about being so impactful?
Well, you see tendencies from offenses based on the down and distance on second down, or how, if it's 2nd and 8, well, how did they get to 2nd and 8? Was it a run? Was it a short pass? Or if it's 2nd and 10, was it an incompletion or was it a failed run? And so the 2nd and 10 play, sometimes is different depending on what happened on first down. And some teams will treat like 2nd and 1 like a shot play, and some teams will just try to get the first down. So based on tendencies and what you're seeing from an offensive coordinator's identity, you can make an educated assumption about what's going to happen, and that can sway your call.
52 defensive snaps on Thursday. Calvin Avery's able to play somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 40. How much does that help you guys, knowing that he can be that nose for you on 70% of the defensive snaps if you need him to be?
I mean, I think twofold. One, he is our best nose guard, and so anytime you can have him fresh out there is advantageous. It helps us be at our best. I also think just being able to get off the field, I think we had like 7 3-and-outs. That helps too. You're getting rest and not playing a bunch of plays in a row, and that's again why we have such an emphasis on getting to 3rd and manageable and then getting off the field on 3rd down.